Hello class, this is Professor Marsh and I'm going to run through creating a dashboard in Meltwater, and also I'm going to wrap in a little bit of the next topic, which is social media in a crisis. So first, let's see, chicken or egg, chicken or egg. Let's create a new dashboard and let us all hope that it goes through. And I'm going to create a custom dashboard. Now, I know what I'm going to do with this dashboard, and I'm going to call it 100 media plus social, because that's what I'm going to be looking at. In fact, actually, I have one of these dashboards saved already, but I'm going to be looking at social media brouhaha that came out over the CW show, The 100. And we're going to go in our Wayback Machine. We're going to start on the February 29th, and we're going to end on, the 14th. It's going to be when my dashboard is for, and I'm going to add a widget. Now, AVEs, we know we do not use AVEs because we all read the Barcelona Accords. But what am I looking at? I am looking at, well, usually one of the first things to look at is going to be trending themes, which is your keywords, right? And so I'm going to add a trending themes widget, and I'm going to choose the inputs. And these inputs are the searches, so you need to find your searches. And here we go. We have news, the 100, and the 100 social. And then you choose the chart type. And I like word clouds, but you can do bubbles too. And then I say update. And notice it took the date that I set for my dashboard. And I see the themes, and I'm familiar with the 100. And I see that Lexa is the #1 trending term. Okay. So here I am, a little executive from CW, and I have heard that there's a problem. I may have done that because I looked at a search. Let me save this dashboard. It's been saved. And don't worry, I'll delete it so you guys have more room. Here we go. I have the 100 news search, which I did. That might be something that I would get every day, right? And here I have my keywords, right? The 100. If I just have the 100, by the way, I get anything that has the number 100 on it, like, the 100 top reasons to leave your boyfriend. So that's why we also have the other keywords, CW and Lexa, because then I know I'm getting the right thing. I'm going to change the date so it reflects the date that I was showing on my dashboard. And so if this was me getting my weekly news briefing that talked about my shows, right? I would probably see this first, and it says, offended LGBT fans take Twitter by storm and outcry for change. And that's a warning sign. So is the 100 girls interrupted, or you give love a bad name. So something's going on, and that's what leads me to look at my dashboard to go in a little deeper to see what actually is happening. So where am I? Back at my dashboard, and where is my dashboard? There it is, right there. So now I can see what's trending, and I know that there was a problem, and it involved Lexa, and I know that Lexa is half of my lesbian relationship on the show The 100. So I'm going to add another widget, and I'm going to call this one media exposure. I'm going to add that to dashboard, and I'm going to add my news the 100. Let me see if it'll let me add social. Oh well. Social for the 100, and chart type. Let's do line for right now. Data granularity is day. Labels are, let's put them on. And the label format is numbers for right now. Update. Okay, so what I see is there's a huge spike in media exposure. And I know that's about where March 3rd was. Sorry about that. Which is when an episode of the 100 aired. This is roughly the 14th, or the 10th rather, when the next episode aired, and then 7 days after that is the 17th. Right? So I can see that I've got media exposure just going through the roof there. That's good, right? But now I'm going to take a look at sentiment. And by the way, the social went way up, but the traditional media coverage, which has been flat, right? That also spiked, and it only spiked just before social went crazy. So whatever happened here, as Alexa died, caused an increase in traditional media exposure as well. Okay, so sentiment. Coming down here, news the 100. All right, come on. And social 100, and we'll do the same thing. I like my labels on. I'm going to update, and what we see is that our sentiment skewed negatively. I mean, incredibly negative, right? Right when that bump in exposure. So what happened is my reach skyrocketed. But unfortunately, as usually happens in a crisis, the reason my reach skyrocketed is because something was wrong. You know, United breaks guitars, right? United's reach skyrocketed, but it was not for the right reason. Southwest throws Kevin Smith off its airplane. Their reach skyrockets, particularly on social, but not for a good reason. So this is one of the ways you can use measurement tools, right? To keep tabs and see when something happens. When something like this happens, you know there's a problem, right? And if I go back to the dashboard that I have already set up, so you don't have to watch me set up a million widgets. It's at the top. It's called Marsh. There we are. Right. Okay. Here you can see, right, the same thing. Here's traditional news reach, right? Hits its peak right as the really crappy news hits its peak. I can see that the heat map, interestingly, is not just the United States. I have a worldwide audience. If I'm looking at my sentiment score, I can see that on social, sentiment really took a dive, right? And this is the 1st to the 23rd. And I know what happened here as well, by the way. This is him giving the showrunner, Jason Rothenberg, giving an interview in which he does not apologize for the way that Alexa was killed. And you can see that it even tanked, that the sentiment score in social really tanked there, although traditional media seemed okay with that. Right. So here I can take a look at my top posters. Go ahead and that's a fun one to look at, the top posters in Facebook and Twitter. I can see that I can see the problem, or I can see part of the problem when I'm looking at these. Oh, and this is, I have to change my dates here to match the dates from before. I was thinking that wasn't exactly what I would have been seeing. Here we go. Apply. Still have tanking. I can see that the Alicia Debney Carey, that's the Italian fans, that was the woman who played Lexa, right? And this one it's in Spanish, but it mentions lesbians. I'm going to guess these people were not happy. And again, you can see that they are posting a lot more than other people are posting, right? So this gives you an idea of what's going on as far as Meltwater is concerned. Another thing I wanted to show you, not on follower wonk, but on Twitter counter, is another thing that happened that really was sort of the suggestion that all was not well. The 100 had been using social media to leverage its promotions. CW doesn't have a big promotion budget, so they do a lot of social media work. And the writers and Jason Rothenberg, the showrunner, had been reaching out to fan communities to get them engaged. And they did a really good job. In fact, you can see right here that we are getting followers right up until the 3rd. And then I believe he lost somewhere between 14 to 16,000 followers in the space of a week, and has never really recovered from that. And that's what the definition of the crisis was that, you knew something was going on, you knew that people were angry. If you were to go into Meltwater, you could get down to the specific tweets. You could also get the specific articles. I have included some of those in the crisis chapter, so you can take a look at it. When Variety says you've screwed up, you've probably screwed up. Anyhow, so I just wanted to show you part of how a measurement tool like Meltwater features in discovering a crisis. You can think about how you would also measure your response. Is something working, right? We've tried humor. Is humor working? No, humor's not working. Maybe we need to approach it a little bit more seriously. One of the things is that for like a week afterwards, the entire specifically Jason ignored the fan backlash as if it wasn't happening, while one of the writers was listening and apologizing and talking through what had happened, which ended up not helping the show much. So, like, we would know that's not working, and maybe we would go visit Mr. Rothenberg and give him a kick in the butt and say, hey, listen, you need to get on top of this. You can't just pretend that it's not happening. The tool I'm using here to show you the decrease in followers, by the way, is Twitter Counter. It's the easiest one I've found for this specific purpose. There's a million Twitter tools, and I'll put a link to some of the Twitter tools, I think, in the module. But anyhow, so that's a look at Meltwater and the 100 and Crisis.